I want to see your best images from 2022. It is time to look back and see what kind of images were your best ones. I want to show them in my live stream on Monday the 9th of January. More info about that after showing my best images from 2022. Hi, it's Peter here, and let's get right into the business. And here are my best photos from January to June 2022. There are 3 images per month, and the slideshow were made with Lightroom. Before we continue with the rest of the images, let's look at some data about the gear and settings I used the most. Amount of images. In 2022 I made about 25,000 images. That is about the same as I usually make in a year. Cameras. In 2022 I used 11 different cameras. The most used camera was OM1 with about 19,000 images. The second most used was EM1 Mark III with 3,300 images. And the third one was OM5 with around 1,000 images. Lenses. I used 31 different lenses in 2022. The most used was 45mm f1.2 Pro, about 5,000 images. The second most used lens was the 100 to 400mm lens with about 4,000 images. And the third one was 20mm f1.4 Pro with 2,500 images. The strangest lens was the Hoodie 50mm f1.4 TS lens. Focal length. Obviously the most used focal length was 45mm with around 5,000 images, and the second was 20mm with just under 2,500 images. And the third most used was 40mm with roughly 1,300 images. The shortest focal length was 4mm and the longest one was 800mm. A video about that 4mm lens is scheduled for January. It's an interesting lens. Settings. The most used aperture was f5.6 with 3,500 images. The second one was f2.8 with 2,800 images, and the third most used aperture was f4 with 2,400 images. The most used shutter speed was 1/1000th of a second, that was like 1,500 times, and the second was 1/16,000th of a second, 1,200 times. And the third one was 1/250th of a second, that's what 1,200 times. The most used ISO was 200 with 14,000 images, and the second one was ISO 800 with a little over 7,000 images. The third place goes to ISO 80 with 478 images. I think it is interesting to see the data behind the photography. Have you ever checked what your data says? Let us know in the comments down below. And here are the best images from July to December. And again, there are 3 images per month. And the slideshow was made with Lightroom. 2022 in my photography. Before I tell you what were my favorite images, a few words about 2022 and my photography. It is very interesting to look back and see some trends in my photography that are a bit different from previous years. I've done a lot more street photography this year than I have done in many years. I was drawn to classical street photography looking images. I also did a lot more black and white photography than before. I traveled quite a bit before the COVID hit, and 2022 traveling was slowly coming back. I enjoyed my trips last year, and many of the best images are from those trips. Traveling inspires me a lot. I will continue with the street photography in 2023 and hope I have more opportunities to do that. The most used lens is the 45mm f1.2 Pro. That tells me, again, I have had a nice amount of portrait shoots for corporate clients. Top 3. It is a tough call, but I think this year it is all about street photography. Here are the top 3 images. As I said, traveling inspired me a lot last year. It was nice to travel again after 2 years with a very little traveling. These 2 images from Copenhagen are the style and feel I want to do a lot more. Both of these images are very classical. The third one is from Lisbon. I was lucky it was raining. The umbrella fits perfectly in the front of this mural. And then your best images. As I said, I want to see your best images. This is the first extra assignment in the 52 assignment 2023 edition. Go to your archives and send your best image. All the info about how to send the image and when the live stream will be aired can be found from a link in the description. But thanks for watching and bye for now.